have a video for you yesterday, but I was like depressed all day and unmotivated and unable to do anything. But that's okay because depression, it's okay to have depression, it's okay to be sad, and it's okay to go through hard times. It's just like, it's part of life, and people with depression know what I'm talking about. And you know, I was gonna force myself to do something against my will because, you know, like I just wasn't feeling it. So today I was like, what can I do that's fun and exciting that I haven't really done much of? And everyone always does story time videos, and I was like, well, I've talked about way too much, especially my Q&Gas. I'm like, literally, I've talked about basically my whole entire life, but there is a big part of my life that I haven't really shared with you guys. And growing up, when I was younger, my first boyfriend and a whole bunch of series of events that happened with that, yeah, it was like really crazy. So I'm like, you know what, like, let me talk about them, maybe get them off my chest, and I'm gonna be real with you guys because, I don't know, sometimes I was a dick as a child, like I was sometimes not the best child. Okay, so the first experience, hold on, am I like, I got saliva, I'm getting too excited. Okay, don't judge me, okay? Okay, so the first time I met my first boyfriend, it was the first guy I've ever met, like online or anything. We went to this Patent Pending concert. It was in his town, actually, so I traveled to him. So I would take the train because I lived in Suffolk and he lived in Nassau. I took the train to him. It took like an hour or so every single time. But the moment I got off the train, do you know what his best friend said to me? Do you know what she fucking said to me? She said, she didn't say it to me. She said it to him. She said, you could do so much better. And I was like, oh, bitch! Oh, bitch! I'm literally like, I'm pumped. I'm like so fucking mad at her already. I literally was like, at least I don't look like a cow. And that was probably wrong of me to say because my mom taught me two wrongs don't make a right. But I was like, whatever. She was like, she just like really pissed me off. And I found out the reason why later on that night. So I met his other best friend. Oh my God. And she hated me too. She's like, I don't like you. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, literally, here's me. I'm 14 years old. I don't know why the fuck people are hating me for no motherfucking reason. But it turns out they were trying to set my first boyfriend up with some other guy, and he wasn't having it, so he found me online and they wanted him to be with that guy. So they were mad that he wasn't with him, he was with me, which is really funny because that was the first person he cheated on me with. But anyway, yeah, that was our first date, and I was like super mad at him because like I was like, okay, I don't want to kiss on the first date. I want to take things really slow. Like, I want my first kiss with a guy to be super meaningful and super amazing. And he kind of just kissed me and I was like, motherfucker. But it was okay, like, you know, like it was unplanned and everything, so it was okay. And then actually that same night, that one bitch that I called a cow, she started taking pictures of us when we were at the train station when I was waiting for my train back or whatever. And I was like, okay, so here I am, like, oh my God, like that's me. I kind of don't remember the picture off the top of my head, but I think I'm the one sitting down. Yeah, I have a beanie on. I basically look exactly the same as I do now. Okay, so that's that little story. And so just like a ton of shit happened from that situation. Like one time I was on the train going to him, and here I am, 14 years old, taking the train alone, the Long Island Railroad. And this guy, he comes up and sits right next to me because there's like two-seaters, whatever. And I think nothing of it. I'm like, okay, like there must not be a lot of seats on the train, blah, blah, blah. And he starts like grabbing my junk. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And at this point, like, I don't know what to do. I've never had this situation happen to me, so I'm just kind of like in shock. And he's like, I won't tell if you won't tell. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on? So he just started like grabbing me and like kind of like squeezing my junk. I don't know. I think he was like trying to get me hard or something because he was like rubbing and squeezing. And I was like super fucking uncomfortable for like 5 minutes, and I was like having a panic attack. Like I was like, what the fuck is gonna happen here? And thank God, like in New York, as soon as you get on like the train or whatever, they come around and they take your ticket or whatever. And the lady that came by to take his ticket, she realized that I was uncomfortable, and she's like, is there a problem here? And she got him to move to another seat or whatever. She's like, I think it would be best if you went on a different card or went somewhere else or whatever. Because I guess like the look in my eyes was like, please motherfucking help me. Like I didn't know what to do. I was young, I was dumb, I was never in that situation before. My mom never taught me like, hey, if a guy starts groping you, like what do you fucking do? So yeah, like I was like molested on a train, and it was just like a series of just like bad events that have happened in my life. Like one time, me and my first boyfriend, we tried to run away together, and not realizing that in order to get like a hotel, motel, Holiday Inn, you had to be over 18. Actually, I think you have to be over 21 in most places or something, like for hotels. But, so I ran away. I went all the way to his town, like an hour away, which was on the north side of Long Island. So not only was it like all the way over, but it's all the way up too. And, yeah, so I met with him, and we ran away, and we ended up not being able to find a place to stay, and it was just awful. We were freezing. He called his mom, and his mom started like flipping the fuck out. She immediately came and picked him up and got him, and I was like stuck because the trains weren't running, and I had to walk basically from where we were to the nearest train station, which took me like, I don't know, it was like, I don't really remember. I think it was an hour and a half to 3 hours worth of walking. It was literally the north side of Long Island all the way to the south side of Long Island. And I walked all the way to, it was the Babylon station, and I waited there for another couple hours until like 5 or 6 a.m. until the train started and I was able to get back home. Because I called my mom and I was like, hi mom, like I ran away, like I need help, can you please come get me? My mom's like, you got yourself in this fucking mess, you can get yourself out of it. And she hung up, and I was like, what the fuck? Like that was literally like all the fucking money I had. I was using it to call her, and she was like, I was so mad. But yeah, so I ended up getting home, and it was like a disaster. But there's been certain times, like, okay, so me and my ex-boyfriend, we had never had anywhere to go, so we would always go to different places, like we would see shows, so like I would always go to I think it's called Farmingdale, and we would see shows, like we'd see like Hello Goodbye, Patent Pending, The Used, like a whole bunch of bands, like a million emo bands that you guys would probably not know any of them. But I would always go there and we would see shows, or we would go somewhere, meet somewhere. Like he came to me a couple of times. Like one time he got a car like towards the end of our relationship, and we actually had sex in his car. Like in the parking lot at this venue. I was like, what the fuck? He got one of those things to block his windshield, you know, like those warmer things, like to block the sun. And I was like, oh my fucking God, is this happening right now? Like we literally had to have sex in like all these different places. And oh my God, wait, one time, literally, okay, so this has only happened once for each of us. Like one time I went to his actual house, and one time he went to my actual house because there was no one home at the time. And the time I went to his house and we like did stuff, and then his mom came home, and I was like, fuckity fuck. So I actually had to hide in his closet. I was hiding in his closet, and I went back in the closet. But I hid in his closet for like, I don't know, 3 hours. It was so fucking long. Until his mom was like, oh, I need to go grab something from the store. And he's like, that's your cue, get the fuck out of here. And I like just like got out of there. Like as soon as I heard the car leave, I like ran out, just started running down the street. I'm like, fuck this shit. Like I'm getting the fuck out of here. And then the time that he came to my house, we actually ended up having sex on my bed, and my sister, I guess, came home and I didn't hear her. So she like walked in on us and I didn't even realize she was there for like a hot minute, but she was just like in shock and I was like, oh my God. So then I like had a conversation with her afterward and she was like, I can't believe that you were like, she was shocked that I wasn't like the one receiving, like I was the one like giving. She was like, what? I thought you would be the receiver. And I was like, no, like I don't like bottoming. And she was like, oh my God, my mind is blown. I'm like, okay, thanks sister, thank you so much. So another time my friend was like, hey, my older brother is out of town, like he's got this pickup truck with like a thing on the back, so like I can open the back and you guys can like crawl in there and sleep in there. And I was like, okay, that sounds good to me. I was just so happy like to be in a relationship, like my first relationship. I was just so excited to be able to like sleep next to him because it was never possible because we always had to go back home. So just like the fact that we were able to go in the back of that pickup truck and like sleep together and cuddle, I was like in pure fucking bliss. And it's so funny because that girl who hooked me up with that situation was like the girl that like I kind of had sex with. And obviously I've already talked about that, so you can go find the video of me talking about that somewhere else. But yeah, like there was just all these like crazy fucking situations. Like that group of friends too was nuts. Like literally, they were fucking crazy. One time we stole like a golf cart because she lived across the street from like a golf course, and yeah, like we just like snuck in the fence and we took this golf cart because like there's no like keys or something, they're just like kind of like there. So we just kind of like started driving it and security started flipping out and like waving their hands, chasing us, but those golf carts go really fucking fast. I was like, ah! So we're all on this golf cart, like stealing this golf cart, and like actually we end up like going around the block and like it was basically a police chase, but it was like the security vehicle, like was like chasing us, and I was like, oh my fucking God. And it's so funny because we actually just like pulled up into her driveway and got out and then like ran into the backyard. And because like a lot of the community had golf carts like in their driveway, they didn't know that that golf cart was like their golf cart. We actually ended up returning it later in that night, like probably at like 3 or 4 a.m. We were like, oh shit, we gotta go return this, like fuck! But it was just all kind of fun. All right, sorry, I kind of got on a little tangent there. Back to my first boyfriend. He cheated on me 13 times in our 2-year relationship. Obviously, it wasn't really 2 years. Like if you add up the time we were actually together, it was probably like 6 months because we would be together for like, I don't know, 1 or 2 weeks, and then he would like cheat on me, and then I would go and move on and like not talk to him for like a month or 2, and then it was sad because like I didn't really have that many friends, so like I was really lonely, so I kept going back to him. But anyway, so his friends that didn't like me, I always have a problem with like my boyfriend's friends, because your boyfriends, like your friends basically control a lot of situations, and if your boyfriend's friends don't like you, that's already a big problem. Which is really funny because my last boyfriend's friend, I despised his best friend, and like I ended up playing nice. I was like, okay, Matt, just like pretend that you like her because she's a bad influence and she's just like a miserable person. But in order for you to have a healthy, successful relationship, you should just ignore it. So anyway, I ignored it. But anyway, what the fuck? I keep going on these like tangents. I'm like, Matt, calm the fuck down. What are you talking about? Okay, the first boyfriend, those girls, the best friends, they ended up hooking him up with that guy that they originally wanted to hook him up with. So he was like dating me, but he was also, because after I came out of the closet like the day before Christmas, like 3 weeks into dating my first boyfriend, my mom like would not let me call anyone. I wasn't allowed to have my computer. I wasn't allowed to have anything. So there was no way for me like to contact him. And so his friends basically told him that I broke up with him, but that wasn't the case. It was just like I wasn't able to talk to him. So I actually ended up hanging out with him for New Year's and finding out that he cheated on me during that time, and that was the first time I guess I've ever been cheated on, so I was like going through some emotions, going through some shit, so I obviously immediately broke up with him. I was like, fuck you, like how could you do this to me? So there was a long series of people that he cheated on me with, and when I say cheating, it's like we were together. Every time we were together, he would go and do stuff with guys. And like a handful of them, like I actually, it was so funny because now that I think about it, the times that I dated people was when I was in a relationship, my first relationship, like from 14 to 16, I dated more people. Like literally 90% of my dating life was in those 2 years. Like I dated a lot of people. Like I would literally, like Long Island, I was like a hoe. Like I was just like, hey, let's date, let's date, let's date, let's date. So I just kept like meeting with every single gay guy that I could find on the internet. And it was so funny because I never really liked any of them, and like I wouldn't kiss most of them, and they would I'm so prude. That's a funny thing. Like you wouldn't think I'm prude, but I'm prude as fuck. So I would go on like dates with them, and there's this one guy, he had a duck fetish, like he was into feathers. I was like, oh hell fucking no. This other guy, he was like crazy and like anorexic. And this other guy, like it was just like all these guys that I like would meet up with for one day, and they would literally be like, I love you. Like that fucking day, I was like, whoa. What? You love me? This is like young love is so fucking funny because like you're literally like, I love you, and I'm like, okay, calm the fuck down, like relax. Like I was so stable as like a young kid, even though I wasn't. I was always like, no, there's no base in this relationship, and I don't think we're really compatible, and I don't think we should be together. And I think it's because I always wanted to have those strong feelings. I was always looking for like the one that made me feel extra special, and the one that I just wanted to be with, and I could never find that. So all these guys, I would just go and like maybe like, I don't know, 2 a month, I would just like meet up with some random person I found on the internet or whatever. And they were all like from age like 13 to like 16, 17. Oh my God. Oh, that one time I fucking met a 13-year-old. Oh my God. That was a disaster. Oh my God, I was 14 and he was 13. I was like, you know what? Like this was my first experience with a younger guy. And it was a fucking disaster. Like he was like, I don't know why, but he was like, I'm so ready for you to take my virginity. Like we're having sex tonight. And I was like, what? Like as if the I love you people weren't enough. He was like we're having sex, like you're taking my virginity, like it's a calling, like it's gonna happen, like I knew this moment was gonna come, like everything was aligning, like everything, like this was meant to be, and like blah blah blah. And I was just like, we haven't even kissed yet, and you're telling me I'm gonna fuck you tonight? Like I'm a virgin, like what the fuck? Oh my God, like oh my God, oh. But anyway, it was so funny because every time I went out with someone, they ended up, like I would say 5 or 6 of them were the people that my ex cheated on me with. And I don't know if it was just like a small community or like a lot of people weren't out at that young of age at that time in my life. But half those people ended up hooking up with my ex, like either while we were together or when we weren't together. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck just happened? And I'm just like, ugh. Like, I basically like massaged people into hooking up with my ex-boyfriend, because I would talk about him and how he would cheat on me, and then they would meet me and I would, I guess, break their hearts because I didn't love them back in a day. So they would like go and talk to him, and then they would hook up with him, and then he didn't actually want to be with them, he just wanted to fuck them. So then he would break up with them. It was so weird because we were such different people. I was like the lovey-dovey type and he was like the I want to fuck people type. But he wanted a relationship, but he wanted it with me. So he wanted to like have fun with these other people. And a lot of the time he always said that he cheated on me because, you know, deep down I wanted to be versatile and I wanted to enjoy receiving, but I never really liked it. So like I would do it like once in a blue moon and it would just not be an amazing experience for me. Like I would bite the pillow and let it happen. But I would say I probably topped him like 80% of the time because yeah. And so he was always like missing because he was like a true verse. Like he like loved bottoming, loved topping. And I was giving him like one part of the aspect, but I wasn't giving him like the whole thing. And he was just like, he was craving more. So that's why I'm making an excuse for why he cheated on me. Matt, fucking snap out of it. Like he cheated on you because, I don't know. It was just like a bad toxic relationship, to be honest. And I don't know, there's a lot of stories in my head, but like I feel like I've hidden a lot of them from myself because I don't know, it's like a defense mechanism and I don't really want to talk about it. So we're gonna move on. So through that girl that tried to have sex with me, I met my best friend Jackie, which she was a mess, like mess, like M-E-S-S capital, like fucking mess. Like she was just like a crazy wild child and I fucking kind of like loved it because I like that she had me because I was always there for her. And honestly, if it wasn't for her mom, like I don't know what I would have done because her mom basically fed me and she would actually buy me food and like make sure I was fed and make sure I was okay. And she always like bought me like the vegan meats, like all the vegan and vegetarian products. I was vegetarian at the time, but all these new products I have never tried before. I tried because of her. And basically, okay, so my friend was like crazy. Like this is the first time I ever had to deal with someone that would like do drugs and stuff. She was always getting high off of like Xanax and drinking. And I was straight edge, so I didn't believe in all of that. So I never did anything. And that's why her mom always liked me because she knew I was gay and I wasn't gonna hit on her or try to have sex with her or take advantage of her. And she knew that I wasn't gonna do drugs and she knew that if I was around, like, her daughter was safe. So she like loved me. She would literally be like, what do you want when I go shopping? She would like buy all this stuff and it was just like, it was an amazing experience. Like, so it was so funny because one time I remember this at fucking 4 a.m. She was like talking, she's like, I wanna get high off of green tea. And I was like, I don't think you can get high off of green tea. And she's like, I just need something. Like I'm craving something. Like what do I want right now? And I was like, she lived next to this 24-hour drive-through Starbucks and I was like, well, why don't we go to Starbucks? And she was like, okay, let's go to Starbucks. And I was like, well, first of all, we're kids, we have no money. And like, how the fuck are we gonna get to Starbucks? And she wakes her mom up at 4 a.m. And oh, also their family was so fucking rich because her grandfather was in the encyclopedia. Like he's literally in the encyclopedia. I'm not gonna tell you why, but I was like, wow, like their whole family has got so much fucking money, it's disgusting. So she was just like a spoiled little brat. So she woke up at 4 a.m. like banging on her mom's door, like being like, Mom, Matt wants Starbucks, like get him Starbucks. And her mom wakes up immediately and goes like, anything for Matt. Like if Matt wants Starbucks, like are you high? Like is Matt taking care of you? Like I'll go get Matt Starbucks. Like let's all go. Like let's get in the car and get Starbucks. And like she was craving pickles and I was craving pickles. So we actually went and got pickles from the grocery store and Starbucks, and like it was just like a really surreal moment because I was like, wow, like she's so spoiled and her mom like loves me so much that at 4 a.m. we literally went and got fucking Starbucks. Like what the fuck? But We always made these silly fucking videos together, so I'm gonna like leave on that note and show you like a couple of these videos of us like singing, and I think she's like smoking, like I don't fucking know, like we were just so weird and so crazy. But thank you guys so much for watching the story time. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Maybe I'll think of some more situations that happened with my first boyfriend and talk about them. And don't forget to subscribe, because every time you don't subscribe, a gay baby turns straight. Ah! Do it for the gamies! Alright, I'll see you next Sunday. Bye!
Matthew, come here. Matthew.
What?
Come here. Say hi to the camera.
Who's that?
No one. What are you doing? Ah! Matt, get off me! I'm making videos for MySpace and it's really funny. Fucking on the dance floor! Fucking on the dance floor! Everybody's fucking on the dance floor!
And I've never had success in my life until YouTube. And when I got the success,
Oh, shady.
until you, and I thought like, you know,